Alright, this is experiment 3.1 for atmospheric pressure in the Exploring Creation with Physical Science textbook. Already got this stuff, put a little bit of water in each of the cans. It's actually a pretty quick, simple experiment. And I've got the frying pan, the tongs. Each of these has ice water in it. And we'll just go through the steps I've already done. Put a small amount of water in each aluminum can. First of all, I already have the first 3 or 4 steps of my lab filled out. I did a little bit of reading first, which is what we should always do. We should read the introduction and all of this right here first, and then read the first part of the lab right here for all the supplies. You can do steps 1, 2, 3, and 4. The introduction, you can actually almost copy that word for word for the objective, the step 1, and then the procedure, we just cite the book and then read through all the steps, and that's how you're going to formulate your hypothesis. Don't read beyond, but I want you to formulate your hypothesis based on that. So let's go ahead and get started. So I put a small amount of water in each aluminum can, only enough to cover the bottom. Put the 2 cans in the frying pan. Let's see. Put the frying pan on the stove and turn the heat to high. Let's go ahead and do that now. And then we're going to wait a little bit just for them to boil vigorously. While we're waiting for the cans to heat up, let's go ahead, and I already did this. We're going to put some water and then a lot of ice in each of the bowls so that it becomes very, very cold. And wait for steam to start rising out of the opening of each can. That'll tell you that the water inside is boiling vigorously. And then step 7, once a steady stream is coming out of each can, we're going to use the tongs to grab one can and place it upright in one of the bowls of water. And then we're going to use the tongs to put the other one upside down in the bowl of water, in the other bowl of water. And then we're going to note what happens in our lab for the data. And then we're going to clean our mess up, and then we're going to finish the rest of the lab, the last 2 steps, the results, which actually are explanations in plain language that just show what we did and what results we got. And then our conclusion after that is all based on what we can conclude from our results. And you can actually get some of that from doing the reading in the book following the lab right here. So let's go ahead and wait just a little bit longer and see if we can get, it's getting really hot. Go ahead and move these around a little bit so they're a little bit closer to the center. We got Mr. Coke and we got Mr. Diet Coke. And then we got Mrs. Egressy cooking fish. She's making dinner while I'm doing my lab. So, I'll wait for steam to come out. 6. That's not steam from the cans yet, that's just steam from the pan. There's a little bit of moisture in there. So just to reiterate, while we're waiting for that to boil vigorously, what you want to do is you can do the materials and the procedure. You just that's steps 3 and 4 right off the bat without doing anything else. To do the hypothesis and the objective, you actually need to read beforehand to be able to do that. You need to read the page before this lab in this case, and then you also need to read through the procedure, but not read beyond the lab You don't want to read down underneath where this stuff is. You want to read just the lab part so you can formulate your objective and your hypothesis. Your hypothesis, again, is an educated guess as to what's going to happen in the lab. And some of you might already have a good idea as to what's going on. So, just peek down in here and see what's going on. Water's not boiling yet. Looks like it's starting to get hot enough to boil. There's the coffee maker that I get up in the morning and have coffee with, and my toaster and bagels and unimportant information to this lab. So let's go ahead and peek in again. Starting to boil, starting to boil. Alright, I'm going to move the book out of the way just in case I make a little bit of a mess. And the first can we are going to have that's steaming is Mr. Coke. We're going to put him in the can right here and just observe what happens. Maybe. Steam continues to come out of the can. Cooling the can down a little bit. Not really much of a difference other than a Coke can floating in the water. Alright, let's see. This one's not quite boiling yet, so just hang on a second. So all it's doing is just kind of cooling down a little bit. And actually aluminum, like an aluminum can and foil, actually cools down fairly quickly because it's thin, especially foil. Let's see, we're still not quite boiling yet. I'm going to move it to the middle a little bit more. I'm guessing this one may or may not be a little bit more special. We'll see. Doo-doo-doo-doo. Still not quite boiling yet. Mr. Diet Coke, I must have put a little bit more water in that one than the other one. So again, not really much to notice from this can yet anyway. We'll see. Just kind of was about the same way. We don't even have burn marks on the bottom of it. We're just going to leave that in there until we get done with this other one. And this one's starting to boil. We're gonna start seeing a little bit of steam coming out the top. Okay, you see the steam coming out the top and not just around it. So we got the steam starting to come out of the top for it to boil vigorously. I'm gonna take this. Alright, we got constant steam, almost. Let's see. Almost. I need him to be out. I'm sorry. Alright. We're going to go ahead and check it out. Let's see. Okay, it is boiling in there. Let's see what happens. Woo! Oh, man, that was cool. So there you have it. Go ahead and record your observations, and maybe your parents will let you do that at home, and probably not. We might have to do that again. Alright, we'll see. Alright, let's turn everything off and clean stuff up. And you guys don't need to see me do that. So, I hope you enjoyed Experiment 3.1. That was kind of exciting. So, alright.